Okay, so today we are going to be working on a crochet toy hammock. If your house is anything like mine, you definitely need this, or if you know somebody with small children, they probably definitely need this. Will make a wonderful and very welcome gift. It's what I'm using to hang all of my children's cherished stuffed animals that they don't really play with anymore, but they just don't want to part with. And secretly neither can I. So this is a great way to hold on to those special toys and get them up and out of the way, because you can hang them on the wall in these toy hammocks, and they actually stretch really well and it holds a lot. So let's get started. It's actually a great pattern for scrap yarn because it really doesn't matter what kind of yarn you use. It really doesn't even matter what kind of hook you use. I like to use a big one. I'm using a 10mm hook. It builds, pardon me, quickly. And so let's get started. What you are going to do is begin with your loop, your slip knot loop. So for those of you who are not familiar with how to do this, you're going to wrap it around your finger and kind of cross it over a little. Lift up that piece that's underneath and just push a little bit of that top bit under and pull it to the shape of a loop. Okay? Put your hook in and just tighten it up, not too much. So for those of you who are familiar with classic granny square patterns, this is going to start to look very familiar to you very quickly, because it's like we're doing half of a classic granny square to get that triangle shape. And I just really like the look of it, so that's why I chose this to make my crochet toy hammock. So you're going to begin with a chain 5. So you're going to wrap the yarn around your hook and pull it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to attach this very last chain to the very first chain with a slip stitch. So you're going to push your hook right through that chain, yarn over, and pull through both loops on your hook. Okay, so now we're going to make a chain 2. And this chain 2 is going to count as a double crochet. All right, so, and that matters because you're going to be starting every row by doing 2 double crochets. But the reason being is because this is counting as a double crochet. So you'll catch on quickly, but each cluster that we're going to make is going to consist of 3 double crochets. But the first of the row, the first cluster of every row, you will only actually be making 2 double crochets because the chain is counting as a double crochet. So technically you do have 3. All right, so let's go ahead and make our 2 double crochets right into the middle of that ring there. So you're going to yarn over your hook, put it right in the middle of the ring, yarn over your hook, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook now. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2. Okay, now we're going to make another double crochet, yarn over, put it right through the middle of the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Okay, so if you didn't quite get the hang of how to do the double crochet, maybe just pause here, rewind back a little, because I'm going to move a little bit faster now when making them. So if you want to just keep on replaying the start of this video till you get the hang of that double crochet, go for it. If you're ready to move on, then continue. Now we're going to do a chain 2, and we're going to separate every cluster with a chain 2. That'll make sense to you in a minute as well, okay? And now we're going to do 3 more double crochets into the middle of the ring. That's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and now we're going to turn our work. So now we're going to go into, you're going to begin the row by going into the first stitch, and remember this counts as a double crochet, so we're just going to do 2. double crochet in that first stitch. 1, 2. Okay, and now we're going to go into this space here, but we're going to separate our clusters with a chain 2. So 1, 2, and go right onto the space over here. So we're not doing anything in the stitches of the double crochets from previous rows. We're always just going to be working in the spaces that we made our chain 2s. Okay, so you're going to yarn over, go ahead, do your 3 double crochet, and now you're going to want to pay attention to where the point of your triangle is, right? Because our toy hammock is in the shape of a triangle. And so this part here in the middle, this is the peak of our triangle. So this is this space you will be doing the same way for every single row to keep the shape of the triangle. So you've done your 3 double crochet, you're going to chain 2, and in the same space, the peak is the only place we're going to do this. We're doing another 3 double crochet. And that's how we get that point. And you're going to see after this row, it's already taking shape. So you'll be able to know whether or not you're doing it right. So chain 2, and you're going to go into the last stitch. Now remember, because that chain 2 counts as a double crochet, that's what you're going to be finishing every row with. So it's not actually a real stitch. You're going to be going into the top of a chain 2 space. Okay, so just find the top of your little chain 2 space there, and that's where you're going to make your last 3. Sorry, it's a little tricky. Bear with me for a second here, especially with such a big hook, and I am so bad for making my chain 2 a little bit too tight. Okay, so you're going to do 3 double crochets into that same space. So 1, 2, and 3. Let me just show you. See how you can already kind of see it taking shape? That triangle shape there, okay? So I'm going to do one more row with you guys, because now what's going to happen going forward, it's just a continuation. Every row is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You're going to keep on going until you get the size that you want, okay? It's the beauty of this project. It's really just, it's super laid back. If you want the look of the one you saw in the picture at the start of this video, and you can look at the end, I actually do a little video briefly at the end that shows you that crochet hammock on my wall, so you can get an idea for the size of it. For that one, I did 18 rows in total. Okay, so I'm going to do one more row with you. I'm going to chain 2 and turn your work. Do 2 double crochets in that very first stitch. Okay, now you're going to separate every cluster with a chain 2, keep that in mind. Okay, and you're going to do 3 double crochet in every single space. Always into every single space, you're going to do 3 double crochet. And 3, separate with a chain 2, and then here's the point. Remember what you have to do in here. This is the only unique space that you will be working into where you need to double it up to keep that shape of the point. So you do 3, chain 2, and do 3 more in that very same space. Okay, chain 2 to separate the clusters, of course. and go into this last space here, doing 3 double crochets, chain 2. It's a pretty simple pattern once you get the hang of it, right? And then remember, you're going to always end going into the top of that chain 2 space. Oh my gosh, there we go. First one can always be a little difficult. Don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong. I think most of us have that situation, like I said, especially working with a larger hook. Okay, so 3, chain 2, and turn your work. And that's how you're going to go for every single row. And remember, you can always rewind back and watch the video again to see anything like, hey, am I doing this right? Or, you know, if it starts to look a weird shape, like what did I do wrong? But you'll know that you're on track if you can see this shape happening here, right? And it's so pretty when it's all done. I love this multicolors. I think that's fun for a playroom. So anyway, like I said, let the video run to the very end so that you can see a little clip of with the one that I did on the wall so far to get an idea for size. Like I said, that was 18 rows in total. And of course, please, if you found value in this video, please click subscribe, and you will get updates on patterns that I share in the future. And in the description below, you will see a number of links. There's a link to the written pattern for this video tutorial. And there's also a couple of links that will take you to my social media pages. So if you are on Facebook, Pinterest, or Instagram, please definitely go ahead and show me a little love by giving me a follow, a like, a share even. And I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this pattern. Take care.